Hi everyone, we're here with Jan Markos, author of Under the Surface and the award-winning The Secret Ingredients. Hi Jan, how are you?
Thank you. I'm fine. It's snowing outside today. I We just talked before this interview, and you said that it's very hot at your place. So yeah, we
Yeah.
are speaking in two absolutely different environments today.
Yeah, Africa and Europe, just you're living in Prague, right?
Well, I'm living in the
Czech
Czech
Republic.
Republic, not exactly in Prague, but
Mm.
yeah, in the Czech Republic.
Okay, great. Chess is quite big there. I mean, they have the festival throughout the year. I played one of the tournaments last year as well, and it just seems like chess is very much alive. Are you participating in tournaments, part of the culture?
Chess is maybe the 10th most popular sport here. Like everybody's playing, so that's very nice. From
Mm.
young kids to old guys. So yeah, we have like 6 chess leagues or so. So
Oh.
it's yeah.
Wow, cool. And then regarding your chess career, like from the beginning, can you tell us how you got into chess? You're obviously Grandmaster, how that happened, the life of chess in Jan Marcus's book.
I started playing chess as I was, I don't know, 7 or 8, and the initial motivation was quite interesting. It was envy, because one of my friends was playing quite well, and I was just envious. Like, when he can do it, I can definitely do it as well. So I started playing, and I was quite good quite early. So I started to play in tournaments, winning some, under 10, 12, 16, 14, all these categories, some events. I was the European champion under 16. Um, and I won the Slovak championship several times. Yeah, I've earned the GM title in my 20s, so I was no, um, prodigy child or whatever. But okay, I liked chess all the time very much, and I never was a full-blown professional. Yeah, I always had some other occupation or something else to do, like studying or teaching or doing something similar. So that's Jan Markos, the semi-professional of chess.
So you were able to become a grandmaster, write these amazing chess books, and then all the while chess is not your main occupation. That must have been quite
Yeah.
difficult to balance everything.
It might sound that it's difficult, but in fact, my recipe is quite simple. I'm trying to do what I like, and so I did or worked on chess as much as I liked. And when it started to be too repetitive and too boring, I decided that okay, maybe it's time to go away from the chess world a bit and do something else. So at the moment, I'm not playing, I'm coaching a bit, and do have a chess column on Chess Base, but otherwise, I'm doing or making things in the non-chess life, more writing and lecturing and so on.
Okay, so playing became too repetitive and boring. That sounds a lot like a Carlson uh thought process there. But he's at least doing the blitz and the rapid to kind of make up for it. Is it for you playing in general, the longer time controls, the stress of playing? What is that part that kind of puts you off?
First of all, I have to say that me and Carlson, we are like different universes. Yeah, and, he's so much better player, knows so much more about chess, and also the stress he needs to undertake is much higher than mine. So I can imagine that he might get like fed up, just going through all these stressful things again and again.
Mm.
For me, I'm playing blitz games on the internet. I'm sometimes playing with friends just for fun. I have a son who is 7, so I'm playing with him,
Mm.
but the life of the chess professional involves, for example, traveling to various countries. It's very time consuming and also quite difficult to combine with family. So all
Yeah.
these things are important or very important in my decision.
Okay. And then when did you start writing chess books? Like when did that become a focus for you? And what inspired you to start writing chess books?
I was asked by Jakob Agard to write a chess book as I was on my Erasmus in Scotland as a student. So he gave me this opportunity and the trust, and I wrote my first book, which had a very funny name. It was called "Beat the Kid." It was about the King's Indian defense, but okay, the title is a bit cruel, of course. Beat the Kid.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was a very good experience, and therefore I wrote two more books for Quality Chess. But this time it was me who decided like what the topics and the content will be. So it was easier for me to write as well, because I'm not very fond of openings. Like I liked Beat the Kid, and I liked researching the subtleties of the King's Indian defense. But what I like even more is just focusing on strategy, on decision making, and all these soft skills for a chess player.
Yeah. Let's talk about your two other books then, Under the Surface and The Secret Ingredient. So Under the Surface is written just by you. So here is the contents page.
Generally, Under the Surface was a book that was created as a series of articles for one Czech webpage. So the chapters are rather small and of rather even length, let's say, because they were previously articles. And that when I put them together into a book, like no one wanted to publish it in the Czech Republic, because they just felt that, okay, chess book will not sell too well. But when I found the publisher, it was like very, very popular, and like we sold out several series of the book. And then we published it in the UK, and it was the book of the year of the English Chess Federation, I think in 2018 or 2019, I'm not sure now. And the reason why this happened is that I had no practical intention, like, to earn money or to do something big about the book. I just wrote about what I liked. And I think that's why the book maybe has the atmosphere of being, likable or being interesting also for the readers.
Mm.
And as you can see, the topics are very varied and different, and they're covering several areas of the chess life and chess strategy, let's say. So in the first part, we are speaking about the laws of the chess world. For example, about how to discern whether a piece is good or bad. That's the first one, 3 phases of a piece. Then we have a chapter, for example, on infection, saying that when you have a weakness, a weak pawn, weak spot, or weak piece, usually this infection of weakness spreads around, because the defenders are also immobile and tend to become weak. The chapter 4 about the policeman of the chessboard, for example, is about pieces that they cover some squares. For example, if you exchange a pair of bishops, then this complex of squares becomes possible to be used by, for example, rooks or some stronger and more expensive, more precious pieces. Then we have the second part, which is about the inhabitants of the chessboard, and we have several chapters about different pieces. For example, magnetic skin is about pawns. Understanding the beast is about knights. Anatoly Karpov's billiard balls is about bishops. Princesses of the chessboard is obviously about queens. Then we have a chapter on time, or part on time, part on openings, and also a part on chess beauty. As you can see, the titles and subtitles are a bit maybe exotic or strange, maybe.
They sound like movie titles, all of them. Every
Yeah,
single
exactly,
title could be a
exactly.
movie.
Yeah, I just like titles being catchy, and I also like using metaphors because as a long year teacher, I know that it's the metaphors and the stories what sticks in the heads of the pupils. So when you hear about the magnetic skin, you will always remember that the pawns are able to give you some protection or to give protection to the pieces from the from one side, but when you are behind the pawn structure, you will never get the protection again. Yeah. Or
Yeah.
billiard, Anatoly Karpov's billiard balls is about the fact that when bishops are traveling from one flank to another, they need to go either the depth of your own camp or via the camp of your opponent. That it's simply not possible to create a straightforward route for a bishop from g3 to a3, let's say. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
and I hope that the usage of these metaphors is what can actually help people to use the book and remember the concepts. And I was very happy to see that, for example, Mr. Gukesh had this book in his own bookshelf, and it was one of two books he has put out and said, okay, I like these books. Yeah, the second was the Practical Chess Beauty from Jokanan Afek. So it's always nice that I was trying to create a book for more or less beginners or intermediate players, and then you see like super GMs having the book and liking it. That's something what wasn't
Good.
expected, but I really like the fact. Maybe the last thing I would like to say about this contents and like overall about the book is that it had or I have written it as a tram book, yeah, that you can read it in a tram without the chessboard, and you know it's not very heavy in lines or variations. It's
Yeah.
more heavy in metaphors and words. Anyway,
Yeah.
the forward chess tool will be very useful for it anyway.
Yeah, so this is perfect collaboration actually to have the book, and then on forward chess, of course, you can just see the board if it's necessary. So that's cool. That's great. And you mentioned now that Gukesh uses the book, but who was it originally written for, your books? Like, what was your target audience, the perfect player you would think would need this book?
Yeah, I was expecting that club players will be those who will take the maximum of the book, which means I don't know, people between the rating 1,600 to 2,2, let's say. Yeah, that's something somewhere here. So those are people who are able to see the basic tactics, that know something about openings, about the basic strategical concepts, but they just want to move on somehow and then don't know how because, for example, they don't have a coach available around, or they don't want to pay a coach or whatever. Yeah, and it's very difficult sometimes to understand what is going on in Grandmaster games if you are just a non-professional club player. You
Yeah.
can go through the games, but sometimes you just need a guy who says you in very who tells you in very normal words like, "Hey, look, this is what's going on." So that's what I'm
Mm.
trying to do in the book.
Okay, so you're like coaching the reader through the book. You're the coach they wouldn't have, but just talking to them about how top players think, how you would think in a certain position.
Exactly. Yeah, as simply as possible,
Mm.
but without overly simplifying the things.
Yeah, and with your teaching experience, this must have been like easy or worked like magic for you to be transferring that, teaching and chess, putting it together in a book like this.
I hope so. Yeah, that's for the readers to say, of course, but yeah, the reception of the book was very nice. So I hope that I have succeeded a bit.
Yeah. And then your second book that we have on Forward Chess, The Secret Ingredient. Now, this was a big book in the chess world. It won the Averbach Boleslavsky Award from FIDE. So the previous one got the English Chess Federation Award, Under the Surface. And here we've got the secret ingredient, which also has a really cool cover. I don't know if we showed that, but I think this is one of the best chess book covers out there. The secret ingredient, it shows you
Yeah, I have to
pure
say that
chess.
I wasn't happy with the first cover, with the Under the Surface cover. It felt a bit too fairy tale like to me.
It's
So
cute.
I was much more active in choosing the cover of the second title, and I'm really glad. Yeah, I think that the guys from Quality Chess did a very good job, and
Yeah,
really, it's a very nice cover.
yeah.
Simple and yet full of secrets.
And what are those secrets? Tell us about this book, how it came about, what it's about. Let me open the table of contents here.
While the Under the Surface book is more about chess strategy and chess beauty, this is a very practical book. Yeah, it is a book for a really a young or not so young chess player who just wants to improve and wants to win more games than before. And the secret ingredient, which is the title of the book, is the practical aspects of the chess game. Yeah, because I know plenty of people who, for example, are very good in openings, or they know everything about strategy, or they have read all the classical titles from Nimzovich down to Kasparov or Dvoretsky or whoever. But once they sit behind the chessboard, they just cannot sell their knowledge. Yeah, they get nervous, they make silly mistakes in the decision-making process, they get very quickly into time trouble, and so on and so on. And I have understood that there are like not so many books that are actually focusing on this practical aspect. Yeah, you sit down at the board, what shall you do? What shall you actually do to win? Yeah. So this is the main topic of the game, like how to be practical in chess and how to actually get the points once you are sitting at the board. And I have asked David Navarra, who is obviously a world-class player and my dear colleague and friend, to work on the book with me. The collaboration was via Skype. So I have written a chapter, then we spoke about it together, and he, for example, enriched the chapter, or he answered several questions about the chapter which I have prepared, or he gave us or gave me some world-class approach or some insight that I don't have. Also, like when you are reading the book, you can see parts that were written by David because they're like graphically different. Yeah, so you know what I'm saying and what David is saying, basically. The collaboration between us two was like, I don't know, 85 to 15%. Yeah, so I wrote most of the content and he enriched the rest. And he was very glad. For example, he did it like for free and just because we are friends. Yeah, so that's it's very nice
That's
that David
amazing.
is such a nice and smart guy that he was like willing to do this. So thank you, David, for that. You have helped the book immensely. And yeah, let's have a look at the contents and at the chapters. So when we are speaking about practical aspects of chess, so we can have a look that every chapter works on some of them. Yeah, for example, An Ordinary Day at Work is a chapter which speaks about how the work of a chess grandmaster differs from what you can find in chess books normally. Yeah. For example, in chess books, you can find huge combinations, mating attacks, typical endgames, and so on. But what you get in normal games is small tactics, which is very undefined. You cannot just put it under a mating attack or winning a piece or whatever. You just are trying to find very small tactical things. Or you can find, defending a messy verse endgame for a long time, which makes no fun. It's very ugly, but you have to do it anyway because that's the only way how you can save it, and so on and so on. So there is a different chess which you can find in the classical chess books, which just shows you chess as a splendid, well-defined game full of, huge blows and everything. And then you have this praxis, which is like often messy and not so well defined and different from what you can find in the book. So that's the chapter 1. Could we just jump to chapter 2? Okay. The chapter 2 is called "One Number Is Not Enough." So "One Number Is Not Enough" is about the fact that we all are trying to use the chess engines a lot. Yeah, but all what a chess engine produces for us is just one number. Yeah, plus 0.8, minus 2.3, and so on. And people get fixed to this number and they evaluate the entire chess situation or the situation on the board just according to it. Yeah, but quite often, for example, the computer over-evaluates the situation because, for example, we have a fortress on a board and the computer or the engine is not able to see that it is a fortress. So we have a drone position, but the computer doesn't say 0.00, but says something 0.7. Yeah, the real evaluation is a bit different. Also, some positions that are really good according to the computer are very difficult to handle because they are very tactical, there are plenty of weaknesses and so on. And a strong and sensible grandmaster would prefer a different position, which is maybe not so good according to the computer, but it's very easy to navigate. So you would get more points from it. So about this, the difference between the engine chess and the chess of us human beings is the chapter number 2. So chapter 3 is coming of age, and that's about how the young, strong players learn to defend stubbornly. Yeah, because that's one of the qualities that a young player naturally doesn't have. Yeah, almost every talented young player knows how to attack, knows how to calculate, and so on. But defending is very, very difficult and comes with some kind of chess maturity. And that's what we get in chapter 3. I'm speaking about 4 different sorts of defenses and so on. And okay, let's just speak in a quicker pace about the other ones. Draw Smoke is about draws. Taming Time is about how not to get into time trouble. I Feel Therefore I Am is about how emotions inflict us, how they influence our decisions. Capablanca Analytica is about how to prepare for a specific opponent, and so on and so on. Yeah, at the end we have a test. Train Hard, Fight Easy is a test of 10 positions, which I quite cruelly gave to David as well. Yeah, so David got these 10 positions, but he got only 1 hour for all of them. Yeah, you have as much time as you want. Like the reader has as much time as he or she wants, but David got just 1 hour, so like 6 minutes per diagram. And he wasn't always right. Yeah, so that's quite interesting to see and to compare his solutions with yours.
Yeah.
So that's the chapter, and the last chapter is just a set of rules that are quite useful in the practical chess. So it's like the extract of what we have learned in the book.
You wrote
I did pick the titles.
The movie titles again.
Yes, that are very exotic titles again. And yeah, I'm very glad that it got the Averbach Boleslavsky Award, and I'm even more glad that Boris Gelfand was in the jury, and he was also speaking very fondly about the book, which is for me very important, of course, because he is one of the guys who really understand what chess is about, unlike me.
How was that, by the way, winning that award? Like, how the positive feedback, how did that make you feel? How did that change things for you as an author, like inspiration to write more books? How did that affect you?
Yeah, well, it's of course very pleasant and very lovely to get positive feedback, especially, as I said, from but not only, of course. I also love feedback from club players, but it's nice to get positive feedback from the legends. These awards don't come with I don't know, financial award or whatever, not even a trophy. So it's like you get an email that you got the book, the award, and you say, okay, yuppie, and that's it. Yeah.
You should print
So
the
that's
email and like frame it and put it like that's your picture.
no, I don't. No, I didn't do that. But yeah, well, you could naturally. But okay, it's nice. Maybe it's a good part of it that it doesn't. It keeps you modest. Yeah, it's nice that you get an award, but okay, life goes on. For me, maybe it is way how to close a chapter. I can say, okay, I wrote some books that were perhaps quite good, and I can move on and do something else. I would maybe write another chess book, but I don't have a topic at the moment, and I don't feel that I should capitalize on something to sell some more copies of a new book or whatever. Rather, I would say, okay, job was perhaps well done, and I can move on.
Okay, well, that's such a great mentality as an author. Your work will always be like top quality of what you want to do and what you enjoy doing. And I'm sure the readers can see that or feel that by reading your books. And I have one last question for you.
Exactly, and
No, yeah? No, no,
well, I
no.
would just add that I'm trying to follow what I like and my passions in my professional life. And I think that's a good thing also for chess players around the world. You can, study a lot, and you can try, to solve puzzles and so on and so on. But when the passion is not there, you will not move on, and you will
Yeah.
not improve. Yeah, I'm sure that, okay, the people from the top 50, for example, in the world, they are very different personalities, but they all, without exception, love chess. Yeah, they're just very, very, very fond of chess. So when you have for example, a daughter or a son, and you want them to be good chess players, don't suffocate their passion. Yeah, just try to do what they like in chess, also combining it with some coaching and so on. But it's very important that the flame of passion doesn't just go out. So that's my advice for parents, and also for all of you who want to improve. Keep the flame of passion alive.
I mean, that's advice for parents, coaches, players. Just good, solid advice. My last question for you was both of your books are quite philosophical, and you also you studied philosophy, so that's very much your thought process and way of thinking. So, in terms of chess and philosophy, how would you think, or how would you say chess mirrors life?
Yeah, exactly. Philosophy question. Well, there was this book of Gary Kasparov, where he was trying, like, how life imitates chess, where he was trying to make some comparisons between both these eras. I didn't find it extremely helpful, honestly. But okay, yeah, he's a big name, and definitely there were many readers that were satisfied with the book. For me, the question is rather, what can I bring from my non-chess life to chess, or on the other hand, what can I learn from chess and bring to life? So what I think chess teaches us is the decision-making process, definitely, because the one who doesn't, or who isn't able to make decisions quickly and effectively will not win in chess. Also some kind of patience, and maybe some kind of rationality that is very practical, because chess is a practical game. Again, if you are not practical, you will not win. So quite often in media and in politics and in the entire life, you see people that are holding very funny statements, and they believe in very funny things, but they cannot support it by anything. Their thinking is obviously not practical. Yeah, they are just thinking or believing in something because they want to believe it, but there are no support for that. And I think that chess can teach this. Yeah, when you cannot support something, you have a nice idea, you want to make the guy, but it just doesn't work, you don't play it. Yeah, and the same thing. You have a nice idea, you think that the life works like this, but it just doesn't give the results, so you should abandon it and try something else.
Yeah, you should think it through before doing it, right? As in chess,
Definitely.
you can't just play unless you're playing bullet or something, but that's a different conversation. Their
Yeah.
philosophy is relevant. Okay, thank you very much for this interview, taking the time. Your two books are available on Forward Chess, and we've linked them down in the description box below. We'd love to hear feedback and any questions you have for Jan. Yeah, that's all from my side. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, and thank you that you are working on this lovely project. I think Forward Chess is a very useful tool for all players of all strengths. It's a very nice way how to read books in a bit different way. So thank you for doing that, and have a nice day.
Have a nice day too. Bye.